Hello traders, Rich here and here's a quick but detailed update on FTM. As usual, if you guys like video analysis, let me know in the comments or simply leave a like. So let's get started. As we clearly see, FTM has been overall bullish for a while, trading above this lower brown trend line. And as per my last picture analysis, which is this one, if you remember, we were waiting for FTM to approach this area to look for buy setups. And the reason why this zone is very strong is because it is a horizontal support and resistance area now acting as a support area, and the intersection with the lower brown trend line acting as a non-horizontal support. That's why we are looking for buy setups in the first place. Now if we zoom into H4 time frame, we can see that FTM is currently trading inside this channel, and as per my trading plan, I'll be waiting for a new swing high to form around the upper red trend line to consider it, for those who know me, our trigger swing. I always highlight it like this as our trigger, and then and only then the buyers would take over to start the next impulse movement upwards. So we are overall bullish. Here we had our impulse. Now we're in a correction phase, waiting for the bulls to take over again to catch what? To catch the next impulse movement upward, which might result in a new all-time high. So then and only then we would expect a bullish movement like this. To make it in blue, meanwhile, and until the buyers take over, FTM can still trade lower and lower inside this channel before the buyers take over by breaking above the previous high. Before we continue, I want to tell you about Kucoin. Kucoin is one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world, with over 600 billion traded volume on the platform and 8 million registered users from more than 200 different countries. Moreover, Kucoin has been rated the best crypto exchange by Forbes Advisor, and according to Coinmarketcap, Kucoin is a top 3 in terms of overall performance. Kucoin offers a wide range of services and features. Of course, you first got spot trading and margin trading, but with more than 540 listed coins and 960 trading pairs. You also got trading bot, staking, mining pool, and many, many more. And I'll make sure to make a detailed video about each and every feature. For now, if you don't have an account yet, I'll make sure to include the links in the description below, and let's continue. As you clearly see, Total is overall bullish from a long-term perspective, making higher highs and higher lows, trading inside this giant rising brown channel. And as per my last video analysis, if you remember, we were looking for buy setups as price approaches the lower trend line, acting as a non-horizontal support, rejecting the price multiple times. That's why we're expecting or looking for buy setups, knowing that Total can still dive inside the demand area, which is around here, around 1.2 till 1.5, as we had an aggressive movement upwards from it. So price can still retest it before trading higher. Now, if we zoom into daily time frame, because as I always say, we always look for setups, we don't buy blindly. We always wait for extra confirmation and trigger. That's why we zoom into a lower time frame and wait for the buyers to take over, because we are clearly still overall bearish. And if we zoom out, we can see that we are bearish inside this correction phase. So we've got our impulse, correction, impulse, and we are currently in this correction phase, and we are looking for the buyers to take over to catch what? To catch the next impulse movement upward. For example, like here, we had a break above the previous high, but we didn't have one just yet. Now let's zoom back again, and you can see that this impulse movement is resulting in an inverse head and shoulders pattern forming. Of course, it's still forming, it's still an idea, so price can respect it or not, but it is a possible scenario. So long story short, we are overall bearish. We've got big impulse pushing price downward, as you can see, and very small correction movements. That's when you see that you are in a bearish trend. However, starting from here, we had a big correction movement. So when we are in a clean bearish trend, we will have a big impulse, small correction, big impulse, and small correction. But when the correction gets deeper or bigger than the previous ones, that's where we know that the sellers are exhausted, but doesn't mean that the bulls are in control yet, because we always wait for the last high to be broken. In this case, this is our last major high, which isn't broken yet, and as mentioned previously, it's forming because we had this deep correction, which is here. We had this inverse head and shoulders pattern forming, which is a possible one. So I've got two possible scenarios. The first one is if price rejects this area upward, would have an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and the trigger would be for the buyers to take over or the bulls to take over from a long-term perspective to start the next impulse movement upward. The trigger would be, as usual, a break above the previous high, which is around here. That's why I always highlight it as here we go as my trigger, and only then we can expect a bullish movement upward. The second scenario is if price rates lower, and as mentioned from weekly, we can still dive inside the demand area, right, before trading higher. Then let me draw it like this. Here we go. Then we would be waiting for a new swing high, just like previously, here, and here as well. A new swing high to form around the upper red trend line to consider it our new trigger swing, and then we'll be buying on swing upwards. So that's it for total. Best of luck, and I'll see you on the next one.